Bombe oh, fire free let me. Bombe jene oh, fire free let me. Fire free let me. Fire free let me.
Hey, si bestie, la bestie na sweet la ma bestie, la bestie da la bestie, fire free let me.
I say, si bestie, wanting to heavy. Fire free let me. I hear them say they want me go, I say
Somebody say they want me go,
I say
107.1 FM. You are listening to the Hit Music Radio Station.
Good morning, Monrovia. Good morning, Habel. Good morning, Robertsfield. Good morning, Robertsport. Good morning, Toyota. Good morning, Salala. Good morning, Macaque City. Good morning, Totman Burger. Good morning, Clay. Good morning, Bo Waterside. Good morning, Riverside. Good morning, Bapulu. Good morning, Buchanan. Good morning, Lack. Good morning, Cowell. Good morning, Brewerville, Virginia, Camp David. My River Edge. This is 50-50 on a Tuesday morning on Sky 107.1 FM with this topic. What is the problem with the CPP Framework Document? Did Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, the political leader of the ANC, alter the framework document, and what portion or portions of the document was allegedly altered? What benefit does Cummings stand to accrue as a direct result of the alleged alteration? In spite of all this thing, with the ANC remain a part or a constituent member of the CPP. My special studio guest, Mr. Axel Tugbah, is the Chief of Office Staff in the office of Honorable Alexander B. Cummings, political leader of the ANC. By 11 o'clock, our lines will be open. So you make use of our numbers, 0777-77107, or better still, call us on 0777-221-223. Those numbers are incidentally pinned on our Facebook page, Sky Communications Librarian, and you can get that through on our YouTube channel, Sky FM, Sky TV. My name is Steve Max. I'm the only grandson of my grandfather. And 50-50, you just can't beat the experience. What is the problem with the CPP framework document? Was there any alter? And by whom was it altered? And what portion of the document was allegedly altered? What benefit does Mr. Alexander Cummings stand to the accrue as a direct benefit of the alleged alteration? It makes the ranking with the ANC remain as a constituent member of the CPP. Like I said, my name is Steve Max, the only grandson of my grandfather. Will be back right after the theme song.
Money, oh.
Hey man, sorry, man, but you ready last month in battle you.
Let's see if they get a new pin. I just will buy my credit data for the week.
Hey man, you worry for nothing. Check out guys say a new thing. You'll be surprised with the kind of new game that come with it.
My oh man, they are still here talking plenty.
Yes, get a new SIM card for only 56 and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We'll take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer
to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone, and I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do, making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean you only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the app on me, Marco. I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, somebody give me one bottle of wine, just another plate of barbecue chicken, and
Wait up, wait 1 minute. Oh, come back. My lollipop. I know I told you not to enjoy, but sorry, I just checked and cash.
oh man, I am worried there. Little thing, I got cash on my phone. You will scan and pay, but I want my money back as soon as you get home.
No, but explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes! With money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage.
What kind of message
Around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. Original spark plug from Japan, oil filters. You need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown at rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car with our sophisticated give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge. Our garage that will work on your car, but we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 55 3317, 0886 55 3317. Or at our rehab branch on 0770 90 2865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. Bike on 50/50 on a Tuesday morning on Sky 107.1 FM. Our topic of discussion: what is the problem with the CPP Framework Document? Mr. Cummings, the political leader of the ANC, authored the framework document, and what portion or portions of the document was altered. What benefit does it stand to the crew as a direct result of the alleged alteration? Will the ANC still remain a member of the CPP? My special studio guest is Mr. I the Tugbah. He is the chief of office staff in the office of Honorable Alexander B. Cummings, political leader of the ANC. Before we get into that, I got two newspapers here, the Inquirer newspaper as well as the front page newspaper. So for your benefit, I'll give you the banner headlines on the front and back pages of the two newspapers. Let's begin with the Inquirer newspaper says, mass dismissal looms over Human Rights Commission. Liberia faces vexing paralysis. Cassette addresses Aja Convention in the States. In Guinea, coup further complicates massacre justice. CPP falls apart as ANC vows not to tolerate shenanigans of political vampires. Schools begin preparation for academic 21-22. The back page of the Inquirer newspaper says salary harmonization, government salary harmonization enters the judiciary as court to year workers' salary case. Bar Association condemns government's lack of public safety. Let's move now to the front page newspaper. Banner headlines on the front page says, nothing has changed. NIBA lawmakers express disappointment over ArcelorMittal failure to live up to the current mineral development agreement as company seeks ratification of a new deal. Planter to spy, witness in Gabriel Massacre's trial alleges the accessibility of the Global Justice and Research Project pay him to lie on the war crimes defendant, but Ability refutes the allegation. Who takes the vacancy? 7-man lineup for Bond County District number 2. Authority National Congress accuses former Vice President of constant attacks on this political leader on behalf of Benin Uri. It says, biker proxy war against Cummings. Aloysius, who is the Secretary General of the ANC, says, and I quote, Ambassador Joseph Biker remains content and appallingly silent in the face of evil lies against Mr. Cummings because it benefits him politically to make it appear as a fight between Cummings and Uri. But we are aware, and the evidence is irrefutable, that this is Ambassador Biker's proxy war against Mr. Cummings being fought by the man with depraved indifference to decency, truth, and honesty. Aloysius told ANC National Secretary General. A leaked message from Cabinet chat room reveals issues that confronted the recent Liberian delegation visit to the United States and how the government is now seeking strategy to overcome that. They call it negative narrative. A congressman referenced this $16 billion thing to us in Washington, and we had to kill it. We are supplying the Crow report and other documents to this office as proof. That is the damage that has been done by the CPP. This is why they are paying $180,000 annually. The same congressman referenced the myth that the 4 auditors may have been politically killed, except for leaked conversation in cabinet chat room. The back page of the front page newspaper says, ahead of Liberia's clash with Cape Verde coach Peter Butler slams Sam Johnson, saying, I don't take passengers. I don't know what he means by that. I don't take passengers. Okay, that's what it is. So to get a clarification of that, you got to buy the 2 newspapers and read that, and you get an understanding of what the coach means when he say, I don't take passengers. What kind of passengers?
Only players.
Only players. I don't take passengers. Is that passenger 57? I don't know that. He said passengers. You got to clarify what a passenger is. But let's get to the issue for which we are here. We have invited Mr. Isaac Var. Tugbah is the chief of office staff. Yesterday, the ANC gave a strong worded press conference by the Secretary General, Aloysius Toh. We want to digest that, and we have more questions to ask that they were not asked, and I want the chief of office staff to be as honest as possible based on his knowledge and association with the facts that we have to give us a clarity. So we have invited the chief of office staff, Mr. Tugbah, to give us clarification. So good morning, my brother.
Good morning, T-Max. Let me just say the last name is Tugbah. So
Tugbah.
Yeah, Tugbah.
That's Pele, right?
That's very Pele.
That's very Pele.
Yeah.
Tugbah.
But to all the Pele people,
the Pele people borrow some of the crew names. They're trying to Pelealize them. Tugbah is always a crew name.
No, but that's the KP. The Togba.
You're trying to Pelealize it. It's always originally GBA.
But you know, we are the same people.
Yeah, I agree.
Even across this whole West Africa region, it's just about us understanding our history, our migration.
Our migration, where we come from.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at it. I want. Yesterday, I listened to Aloysius Toh. Before then, I listened to Mr. Benina Ure of the ALP. A certain portion of the framework document that bind the CPP together was altered, criminally altered. That time he didn't give any evidence as to the alteration and who did it. I'm bringing the same question to you.
Yeah.
What portion of that alteration allegedly done with the document was done by whom?
You know, it's sad. Ben and I should be more responsible than that. You cannot make unclear, baseless, unsubstantiated allegations like that against somebody who's your partner. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is being since what? August, he made that in more than a month. He has not definitively said this is what was altered in the document. So it's totally senseless, it's totally baseless, and he needs to come to terms with that.
Why would Benny not lie if there's any evidence to the alteration of the document?
Ben and I may have his own private reasons for lying, because that's a lie. That's a total lie. But from my perspective, they are in a corner. So you see all the shenanigans they've been playing with black voting and undemocratic stuff. It doesn't work. We have a clear document that purposes one man, one vote. And for us to get to that point, we have to go through these processes of consensus building, of the voter perception survey. And then that survey, according to the framework document, it serves as the basis as which delegates across the four parties can look at and say, oh, okay, there was a survey. 5,000 people responded. Mr. Cummings, according to the question, who would better change the economy? 65-70% of the people say Mr. Cummings can do that better. Who has the energy to attract foreign investment? 85% of the people say Cummings can do it better than Boyka. Who has the ability and the strength to implement the rule of law? 90% of the people say Cummings can do that compared to Boyka. So when you see those kind of numbers, that's what they are intimidated by.
But the point is, it should be Joseph Boyka should be worrying about that. What is you were doing this? If he's the one doing it, what is he doing that?
There has to be, in my mind, two primary reasons. One, Joseph Boyka, former vice president, is scared of the glare of the public. So he orchestrating in the background. But as an elder, as Aloysius said, Joseph Boyka should be front and center of this noise that's going on in the CPP and letting people know clearly. One,
where he stands on this.
Yes, this is my position. I don't stand for this noise. Two, Mr. Cummings is a fine gentleman and he knows that. So if we are really serious, I recommended Benjamin Sano and other lawyers to lead this effort to restructure and revise the initial CPP agreement to look structurally correct, to flow from a legal term, and to be airtight in protecting the participants in it, and to also remove that jobs hungry clause that was initially in there.
We made mention about that clause.
Yeah, people.
I
thank you.
Talked about that. And I mean, so that means that if you're not a member of the CPP, you mean that no job for librarians.
You are absolutely correct.
We talked about that before.
You are absolutely correct. There are competent librarians up there who can help any government. They don't have to be part of a political party or political arrangement or an alliance to be involved in this change evolution that we talk about in terms of changing Liberia. They don't have to be.
And because of that, the public outcry, I think the document was withdrawn to make this modification that it was politically done, but this is not what it meant. Because we have that discussion. I can remember I have Cummings in the studio. I said, why you want to be too political? That in order for me to get a job for which I'm qualified, I cannot be a member of the CPP. That's been divisive. We talked about that.
And that's exactly kind of anti-Cummings because Cummings looks at talent. He looks at people who can bring things to the table. I'm a former seditious, right? I was independent for like a year or more. And then he tapped me as his chief of staff. It shows that he's not focused on only organic party members or original founding members being a part of his effort to be better.
So if you're saying to me emphatically, there is nothing that was done with the document of the framework document, the CPP. What is the National Advisory Committee doing about this if that is not true? What is their position in this?
So I think the political, the chairperson of the CPP today, Yomli Kanga, She's Nyomdikaga Lawrence. She manufacturing things. You see, there's ambition involved in this thing. Okay, so at the end of the day, whether it's Bernard, whether it's Yomli, who Joe Biden would tap, and unfortunately, he's not tapping anybody because Mr. Alexander Cummings will win the CPP primaries. It's clear that he is the better candidate, and there's just so many reasons we can go into if that's the case. But right now, we are focusing on the document.
Let's look at the document.
Yes.
What are the documents? Are these documents supposed to be filed with NEC? Is it
Yes, the document is filed at the NEC offices. So initially, when this whole situation happened, Bernard brought his letter very, nebulous, not clear. People not understanding exactly what he's saying. Somebody leaked this to him and that, and put it out there. So
somebody leaked that alteration news to Benny.
That's what he
didn't see it.
He never saw it. So if he had seen it by now, he would have been able to tell us. But he's incapable of coming into any public situation or forum and explain to the Liberian people, oh, this is exactly what I saw. Article 3, in this original document that the lawyers, revised for us, that we all approved, and this that was submitted to NET, this is the difference. Article 7, this is the difference. But it's all speculation.
Nothing is there.
Nothing is there. Allah has demonstrated that. And the lawyers are not dead. Benedict Sano is alive. Kofi Woods is alive. Finlay Kanga is alive. I believe Diafa Mbappe participated in that process. He's alive. There may be other lawyers they consulted with. The guys
if there was
together.
Nothing in the document, why was it revised?
Oh, initially there was, you remember the stuff that you guys protested? Plus
about the job clause.
Yeah, plus even if you compare the flow of the document, the initial document, against what the lawyers revised, you will see that the difference between amateur and professionalism. When lawyers do something, they want to flow, they want to construct. You build, the name of the organization, the identity, the structure, the different issues, the mechanisms involved in, whether you want to leave, you want to stay, and stuff like that. And it put things in there to protect the participants in this alliance so that, nothing negative.
So the lawyers reviewed that.
They reviewed the document.
How were the lawyers picked? Who brought them? Were their services paid for? Who recommended them to be there?
The lawyers originated from, again, Vice President Boyka. He initially...
The lawyers that revised it?
Yes. He initially brought in, Benedict Sano, and then he brought in a couple other people, and then they did this job for, the CPP. It was a very good job from what I have seen. The document is a better document than what it was previously.
After the revision, was the document signed?
That's when they signed the resolutions. That when Morley went around and got all the different signatures in order for them to file by July 14th with NEC. So all of this, they went through all of this. There were texts, WhatsApp messages where at the time, Mr. Cummings was the head of the CPP arrangement. And he submitted a document into that text room with them. He called a meeting for them to have the discussions. Those things happen. They can't deny that. There's solid written proof that those things happen. Unfortunately,
did they sign to that after it was revised?
Yes, they signed.
They
signed a resolution as a commitment to that document and to the organization of the CPP as a veritable political organization that they all subscribe to. They did that.
You kidding me?
I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't understand where it comes from. Again, it comes from fear. They don't believe that in a pure democratic competitive situation, Vice President Boyka, out of the 1,240 delegates, because each